Out into the Atlantic, up to the Arctic Circle and back. The IMOCA season is fully underway. A new mix of fully crewed and solo events, new campaigns, new boats and a new approach to what they wear. It's been over a year since the last Vendée Globe and the next one isn't until 2028. But in the short-handed offshore world where a solo race around the planet is such a demanding goal, it's always busy. Whether it's your first attempt or you're a seasoned campaigner building a new boat, a Vendée Globe campaign takes time. The rules change too, and the technology is evolving faster than ever before. So keeping up with what's going on from season to season is really tricky if you're on the outside looking in. Which is why we've come to the west coast of France to find out more. Because while there's no Vendée Globe this year, there's plenty else going on, both solo and fully crewed. So to help us understand the 2026 season, along with who we should be looking out for, we checked in with Sam Goodchild, who himself is starting a new role as the offshore skipper on Macif. But there was another reason why we wanted to hook up with Sam, and that was to find out about the kit he wears offshore. Because you may already know he's a Henri Lloyd ambassador. So, having been to Manchester to find out about the design of offshore kits, it seemed like a good opportunity to ask him about design from an offshore sailor's point of view. But first, and to set the scene, I started with the IMOCA season. What's the latest? Who's up for it? And who's building a new boat? Looking at the fleet, how would you describe it?
I mean, there's quite a few new teams in one way or another. We're not a new team, but I'm a new sailor on a proven boat. If Violette d'Orange just walked past, she's a new sailor or an old sailor on a new boat, a young sailor, however you want to look at it. So there's a few new kind of mixes of a sailor boat, if you like. We're going back into single-handed sailing, so that puts another element to it where maybe the performance differences are a bit smaller. Because you can't push the boat as hard, so you're not 100% the whole time, you're a little bit slower. And so yeah, it's a little bit of a mix-up. A new Vendée Globe cycle is starting, if you like. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. And like I said, from 2 months' time onwards, there's a whole bunch of new boats coming online. So it's going to be exciting to see how they work and how fast they go out the blocks, and then how quickly they get up to speed as well with new boats, which always have small teething errors.
Right. And of the top teams, the ones that we'll be familiar with, are we going to see them all back in the scene? You mentioned Cheral. Well, they sound like they're coming back because they're just modifying their boat. Of the other big names, it's all much the same, is it?
Yeah. So Cheral are doing massive mods. They've gone the way of massive mods instead of buying a new boat. So it's interesting. That's a bit not an outlier, but it's rarely done that way anyway. To the extent they're doing it. Arcaire Packbreak are building a new boat that's coming online. Banque Populaire are coming back with a new boat, but from next year. Arcaire Packbreak next year as well. Thomas Rion's got a brand new boat, but he hasn't got a sponsor yet. So if he finds money, he'll be going fast. He knows what he's doing. Malaysia have obviously got a new boat. They're on their second new boat and third boat altogether, and their team's getting more and more professional as things go on. So I mean, they're going to be hard to beat as well. It's hard to think of all the top teams, but there's 9 new boats being built.
Wow.
There's 2 new boats that have been launched last year, which didn't do the Vendée, which are coming online, a sister ship to ours, and the Petit Doudou with Armel Tripon. So yeah, I mean, there's at the point end of the fleet, if you like, there's good competition. The numbers are down compared to getting used to sailing your 40 boat start lines. But yeah, the pointy end of the fleet. The competition's still there, and it's still exciting enough to be here, and trying to win races isn't going to be any easier.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. As we found out in Manchester, the new regulations that are on their way that will ban the use of PFPs or forever chemicals will be a big deal for the whole outdoor clothing market. In creating a brand new 4-layer material, Henri Lloyd have taken a big step forward. Ocean Pro is considerably more waterproof, way more breathable and 18% lighter. But what does it mean for someone who spends more time in sailing kit than in normal clothes? And in a world where they spend more time inside than out? The materials might be changing dramatically, but so too is the IMOCA racing environment.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, especially for us on IMOCAs, the kit is our needs are changing in terms of what kit we need compared to when you're in an IMOCA 60, an old IMOCA 60 or a Volvo 70 or a Volvo 65, when you're getting hosed by water the whole time. We haven't got that anymore. And we're spending a lot of time inside, but it doesn't. You still need kit, and you almost need it to be more versatile because you're sitting inside with the doors closed, and then you've got to go do a manoeuvre, or you've got to go outside all of a sudden. So you need kit which can be hosed, but at the same time, when you're sitting inside with the doors closed, you don't have to take off 3 layers to not get too hot and do a manoeuvre. And doing a manoeuvre, you're going from on the bow to in the cockpit and grinding for 15 minutes. So you can't be. You're wearing a life jacket, you can't be taking on and off kit the whole time. So you need versatile kit, you need flexibility to be able to move around. Most importantly is breathability, because you need to be able to sit around, stay warm, and then when you start sweating, for it to breathe and be extracted. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges for Henri Lloyd, is making this kit with the new rules of environmentally friendly kit. Which is still waterproof and breathable at the same time, so water goes out and doesn't come back in. And yeah, that's the challenge, and it's important for us. Yeah.
The performance of the fabric is one in the sailing. It's one of the most challenging things. And what was difficult that we had 2 parallel things. One was the development of the fabric, and the other one, development of the jacket. And that was not easy. This fabric allow us to change from the previous style. It's the bulkiness of the jacket. So since that this fabric is very soft and is stretch, it's allow you to have the garment closer to your body, but without feeling any issue in the fitting. So, and it's what's happened in the cycling as well. In the past, there was the jersey were quite big, and now everything is more aerodynamics. And we don't need for an offshore kit something aerodynamics, but you can be closer to your body because in any way you are moving on the boat.
One of the things that the designer talked about up at Henri Lloyd was the weight and how important weight is for the clothing. How much do you notice that? Is that an important factor to you as well?
Oh, I mean, weight's huge. You just want to feel like you're wearing nothing. I read that article about the new racing shoes that won the London Marathon, which weigh less than 100 grams or something, and it's all the same thing. The less you feel they're there, the less they bother you, the more you wear them, and the better it is. And clothing is exactly the same as London Marathon running shoes. It needs to be lightweight, and if it can keep you dry, breathe, and be lightweight, and you can't feel it on you, then it's a good piece of clothing.
Yeah, and how are you finding, because I guess you've got the Ocean Pro kit at the moment, is that?
Yeah, I've been using the Ocean Pro kit and for a little while now, and it's been cool being part of the team and following the development and working towards it, and the passion at Henri Lloyd to make kit better and improve it is always good fun, and you can always do better. That's what pushes us to.
And you've had quite a lot of feedback in that, have you? I mean.
Yeah,
not feedback, but you've put in a fair bit of input into that process.
We've done some testing and my feedback, and then the designers back at Henri Lloyd, they look at what everyone has said and what only one person has said, and decide what's a good idea and what's a bad idea, and mix that into a bit of clothing, which is a good bit of clothing for everyone, from the extremes to the less extremes, and yeah.
So you can modular this jacket if you are sailing. You are a Sunday sailor, but you want a premium product. You can have it and you can wear, because it's soft, it's lightweight, is comfortable. But if you don't need it, you can take it out, and it's very modular. Or it's sustainable as well, because you don't need 3 different jackets. You can use the same and change the detail.
And to find out whether this really matters to the likes of Sam Goodchild, you have to get your head around what his world looks like when his foot is to the floor on a 60-footer that's behaving like a runaway bus. So if you have got to do a manoeuvre and go out on deck, do you actually slow the boat down? Do you bear off and go a bit downwind? And
I mean, when these boats are ripping and going fast in a sea state, anything but sitting in the cockpit's dangerous, basically.
Right.
So you don't. You can maybe go out to check something, but you're definitely not going to go on the foredeck, and you're definitely not really going to leave the cockpit without slowing the boat down, 'cause it's just too dangerous. You get washed off the back. I mean, you're not coming back, and if you break something, you're not coming back. So yes, I mean, the boats are dangerous, and you have to accept that. There's obviously the crossover zone between sailing in 5 knots upwind, and everything's rosy to reaching along in 15 knots because the wind's picked up. But yeah, I mean, there's big amounts of time where you just don't open the doors and don't leave the cockpit unless you slow the boat down. Yeah.
What kind of percentage was that? I mean, I know it depends on what you're doing, but I mean, typically, if you look back at, I don't know, the last Vendée Globe, would you have spent 80% of your time inside, or 50%? Or?
So if I try and think back at the last Vendée Globe, and from crossing the equator going south, and even before that, because we had a hard run going into the equator, back to Rio on the way back north, we wouldn't have gone out the cockpit without slowing down, really. Right. Just because.
And how often would you go out the cockpit, though?
I mean, you definitely go, or from maneuver for take your reef in, take your reef out. A reef's fairly easy because you ease the main anyway to put a reef in, so it kind of happens naturally. But yeah, there's all sail maneuvers, and then I generally, at least once a day, I go for a full check of the boat, slow the boat down, go for a full check, make sure everything's okay, and there isn't a furler on the pulpit which is coming undone and bashing into the hull, or a pin coming undone, or a lashing coming undone. It's generally at least once a day go out for a nice proper check of the boat, in Vendée Globe conditions anyway.
Right.
In a route to run where a transat's a bit more difficult to give away 5 minutes, slowing the boat down.
Well, I was going to say it becomes a tactical decision there,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I mean, do you have to sort of look at the day and look at your performance and the weather and what you expect to do, and go, well, I'll do my check later on when it's going to cost me less?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that is a massive part of it, and even going into the bow to check the structure of the boat, because you've had quite a few structural problems on these IMOCAs, and going into the bow, you don't go up there while the boat's slamming off waves. If not, you could break legs, ribs, whatever it is. Like, there's bits of sharp carbon hanging around all over the place, and you can put helmets on and padding on, but it's not worth the risk. So it becomes a large part of our work is working on that. This morning we were discussing where we're going to put the stacking panays on the deck for the new boat in 18 months or 12 months time, because when you put sail on the deck, you want to know it's not going to move and it's not going to cause you a problem. And all of that is important. Yeah.
You talk about padding and armour. How much of the time do you wear body armour? We saw some interesting. I mean, you wear helmets quite a lot, don't you?
We have helmets. I don't wear them as much probably as I should, because the problem is that wearing a helmet for a day or an hour-long race is. We can accept that, but then I need to wear it for the whole race. Hang on, my whole race is 2.5 months. When do I take it off? And I should probably put it on more, but generally when you're moving around doing a manoeuvre, I put it on, and when I'm at the chart table or sitting around in standby mode, I take it off.
Right. Does that affect the kind of clothing that you wear, or what you might want from clothing? Do you wear any chest body armour or anything like that, or is it just a helmet?
Personally, I don't wear any of that. I have done on the ocean race we did when you slowed down less because you're pushing the boat harder. We wore body armour, but on the solo stuff, I have it on board in case you need to, because there's a particular situation that develops that way. Going up the rig's one of them.
Right.
But in general, day-to-day sailing, I try and avoid it and try and keep myself safe.
And what does this mean if you're not Sam Goodchild and your trips are more modest than a 29,000-mile sprint around the world? How are his needs relevant to the rest of us? And are there any examples of details that benefit both types of sailing?
This wood, where there is this stretch fabric, that when you are wearing the hood and you are bending the head forward, when you are adjusting this part here, and the fit is perfect, but when you are bending, the fabric is stopping you. So I added this fabric here, stretch, plus this one, this mesh that is allow you to the moisture to go away.
Okay.
So this is drainage channel, the Optivision. Here we have the adjustment. Here we have this fabric again, the stretchiness. Why I'm using that? Because when you are storing the hood inside here, generally, if I'm using the same shell fabric, you have a lot of pressure on here and everything. It's affect the comfort inside. So in that way, when you are wearing, you have less compression against the neck. So that is another detail here that is nice. So no, everyone wants that all the time. So this is a magic chain that you can.
It's easy to get wrapped up in the detail and compare the technical specs. But another way of putting such progress into perspective is to look back at what we used to wear. And I put that to Sam.
I just wonder what that would be like now. If you had to wear that now on an IMOCA as it is, that would be quite hard work, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. If you look at where the clothing has come in the last 20, 30 years from or the 60 years since Robert Knox Johnson say around the world, but unfortunately for us we've gone a long way. We've come a long way, yeah.
And that change has benefited all of us. It's just this time the natural and ongoing development is also driven by new regulations for the entire outdoor clothing industry.
Rondal is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and there's a lot to shout about for the Netherlands-based spar and components manufacturer.
Right from the beginning, the company has striven for continuous improvement and innovation. Early successes included the first hydraulic mast jack system on Whitbread Round the World winner Flyer 2 in 1981. Time and again it has risen to the challenge. Restored J-Class Endeavour was relaunched in 1989 with a Rondal custom-built mast and boom. Investing in groundbreaking technology paid off with the continuing growth of custom-built carbon spars for superyachts, and Rondal now has the world's largest oven to cope with ever-increasing spar lengths and sections. Currently they're working with Royal Houseman in the secretive 85-metre Project 410, the world's largest sloop, and heads were turned last year when designs were published of the Aero wing sail at the Monaco Yacht Show. In Managing Director Harold Lubinger's words, Rondal's products must be built to endure and deliver uncompromising performance. End of story.
Spinlock has an industry-leading reputation for innovation and design. And now, with the new RigSense Pro, the Cowes-based company have raised the game once again.
Accurate tension data is vital when setting up the rig on any boat, but as boats get bigger, the challenge increases because measuring rig loads on large diameter stays with a portable gauge is difficult. Spar makers Selden set Spinlock the task of producing a portable, accurate gauge for use on wire stays up to 20mm in diameter or -60 rods, or put simply, standing rigging for boats up to around 65 feet. The RigSense Pro clips onto the stay in the usual way, but it incorporates an electronic strain gauge system that provides accurate readings. The size and type of stay can be selected from the gauge's internal database. It also sends data to an app for ongoing tracking and analysis, all of which takes the guesswork out of setting up a big rig.
Allen blocks have been fitted to dinghies at the top end of fleets for decades. Now, with their high roller range, the Essex-based company are turning their attention to keelboats.
With a 2-ton working load, these blocks were developed in the tough, relentless world aboard a 60-foot offshore IMOCA. Now, the same blocks can be found on top-end keelboat classes, including the Cape 31. Designed with high-load, low-friction applications in mind, single and double sheave variants are on their way. Sheets, halyards and runners are obvious applications, as well as vang assemblies. High-performance cage roller bearings are used throughout the range, and the blocks can easily be disassembled for servicing. 2 small bolts provide access to the captive bearings. So, while international moth and Olympic sailors have been proving Allen's worth on the racecourse for many years, now big boat sailors have the chance to get in on the act.